Hi, my name is Darius Riley, and I will be presenting to you on music and how it affects the brain. So, I chose this topic because I use music every day to cope with stress or even to help me do different tasks like homework or tests or studying for tests. So, first we're going to talk about how music affects different parts of the brain. So, you have the Broca's area, which is known to affect speech and normally activated by musicians and results of years of training, musical training. You have the auditory cortex, which processes auditory information and performs high functions in hearing. You have the hippocampus, which helps you remember musical pieces and differentiate between them. You have the medial prefrontal cortex, which connects memories from music to emotion. You have the cerebellum, which predicts and anticipates what's going to happen next in a song. The superior temporal gyrus, which is involved in auditory processing and connecting emotions to music. Serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter associated with happiness. And you have dopamine, another neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. So our brains and musical preferences. In a study by Stephen Evers and Birgit Soer, sorry if I get their names a little butchered, but pleasant and unpleasant music was played for different people. They found that serotonin levels were higher when pleasant music was played compared to serotonin levels in the people in the blood when unpleasant music was played. With this information, we can infer that if we listen to pleasurable music, we feel happier because higher levels of serotonin are released in the brain. This may be why some music or pleasurable music makes us feel happier or even more excited compared to when we listen to unpleasurable music, which can make us feel down or sad or just not in the mood. So why does music make us feel good? In another study, people were hooked up to a PET scanner, a PET scanner, while listening to music. They were asked to record how many chills they experienced, to rate the intensity of every chill on a scale from 1 to 10, and lastly, rate the overall degree of pleasure they received from the musical excerpts on a 10-point scale. The scientists also recorded the amount of dopamine levels released in different parts of the brain before the peak and during the peak. So in the anticipation stage and during the peak of the musical excerpt. So in this chart, we see the right caudate and the right neural accumbens, which is more active at the peak of a musical excerpt, and the right caudate is more active in the anticipation stage of the musical excerpt. So here we see that the number of chills is more in the anticipation stage, but even though this may be true, the intensity of the chills and the degree of pleasure was even higher in the right neural accumbens, which is most active during the peak of the musical excerpt. Here we also have a chart that shows us the different amounts of dopamine released in different parts of the brain at different times. So the left caudate, which is most active during the anticipation stage when listening to a musical excerpt, released dopamine during the anticipation stage while waiting for the musical peak. But the right neural accumbens released even more dopamine when the musical peak was reached. We're also going to talk about music and performance. So in a study by Adrian Fernham and Anna Bradley, 10 introverts and 10 extroverts were tested on memory, reading comprehension test with immediate and with delayed recall while listening to pop music or in silence. So with the music on, introverts did poorer than the extroverts did on their memory test. They took 2 memory tests and also on the reading comprehension. So here you can see that the extroverts did better on the memory test with the music playing compared to the introverts. While when the music was off, the introverts did better on their memory test and also their reading comprehension. Well, not necessarily reading comprehension, but on the memory test, they did better when the music was not playing compared to the extroverts. Theories have shown that this may be true because extroverts are more likely to work with music playing compared to introverts who are more likely to receive pleasure from, well, like internally or reading books or mostly in silence, while extroverts are used to a lot of attention or paying attention to a lot of different things. In conclusion, music is a powerful stimulus that affects many parts of the brain and can alter our neurochemistry, making us feel good when our favorite songs come on, or even bringing up old memories. Our musical preferences can determine our mood, making us feel happy with one song or dissatisfied with another. Music is even capable of determining your performance, whether that be on a test or homework, or even before you're preparing for a basketball game. Music is a stimulus that the whole world reacts to and has properties that connect us to each other and even make us